All right, and you are looking live at Sold Out Giant Stadium. Remember, the Giants played in Giant Stadium 1976 to 2009. So you are looking live at Sold Out Giant Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are those Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. The Philadelphia Eagles lost the Super Bowl because they suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck, and the Philadelphia Eagles will always suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if I see something in there, as soon as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Right? Plus sometimes it's nice to have a conversation with somebody else instead of me just like rambling on for like half an hour or so. So please throw your comments in the chat box, please. Before we get started, anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, there's a top link. It takes you to my membership page. I have 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one is called the Gridiron. So just go to the top link, click on the membership link, and it takes you to my membership page. And if you want to sign up, help support my channel, thank you. It really would mean so much to me. Next, if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. If you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? So I said, if you are subscribed, thank you so much for help keep my channel going. Right? I really greatly appreciate it. If not, just go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, right? And then finally, also in the description box below, okay, there are 2 Facebook links, right? The top one takes you to my Facebook group, all right? Right now we have over 2,700 members in the Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Basically, like everything I got is called like the New York Giants, the Gridiron. All right. That way, like a moron like me, I can remember my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, which I'll go over in a minute. It's all pretty much the same thing, right? So go down below, you hit the and become a member of it, right? It's every day. I'm putting at least 10 different things in there every day, whether it's a video, whether it's a post, or whether it's something making fun of the Eagles or something making fun of the Cowboys. I'll put something in there with, maybe something was showing some stats. I got something I just put up here about an hour ago, shows a picture of Ronaldo Wynn. It's giving a little bit of biography on him, that he played only 1 season with the Giants in 2008. He was 34 years old. He came up with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who was drafted by Tom Coughlin. So he reunited with Tom Coughlin in 2008, right? So it's just all kinds of stuff going in there. And not only me, but if you become a member, you can post stuff in there as well, too. So there's a ton of New York Giants information going into the group every day, right? Then the second Facebook link, okay, there's another link right under the other one, takes you to my Facebook page, okay? It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron, but it's a page. So I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one to post anything in here, but it's basically the same thing as in the group. It's 7 days a week. I try to put at least 10 different things in there every day. I said, whether it's something making fun of the Eagle, I just put a video up here of Daniel Jones when he snuck the ball over in the third quarter. It was about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. It brought the Giants within 34-14. Obviously, the Eagles would just blow them out of the water. But just a video showing Daniel Jones sneaking in from the 1-yard line. I copied a picture from somebody. Seen this from showing a picture of Brad Van Pelt, the Giants linebacker. They drafted him in 1973 out of Michigan State. played with the Giants from 73 to 83. He was a very, very, very good outside linebacker. So I copied a picture. Somebody made a picture of him. I copied that and I posted it in there. There's a picture here of Nacho signing his his contract. There's a video here of Nacho. I guess maybe his girlfriend or his wife, whatever. He's walking in with a stroller into Giants, and he's meeting Joe Shane. I guess maybe to sign his contract and all. Dude's got a freaking personality to light up an entire auditorium. What a personality, guys. Good person. He looks like, I'm not saying Aaron Donald, not like that, but I'll tell you what, if somebody you want to have in the locker room, help positive atmosphere, positive attitude and all that, Nacho's the man. So I'm saying, so in the page, right, there's a ton of stuff going in there every day, right? And I don't mix them up. Right now we have 803 people who like the page, and there's over 3,500 people following the page, all right? And I don't really commingle them, basically. So what I put in the page, I don't put in the group. All right. So if you go to the New York Giants, you go on the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the New York Giants and Gridiron, the group, and you become a member. Between the two, there's a ton of New York Giants information stuff every day, and you won't be disappointed. And if you are disappointed, like I always say, you get your money back guarantee. All right. With all that stuff said and done, all that stuff out of the way with here, I got to move my chair. Every time I start talking, I guess one of these times I would learn. Every time I start talking, I don't know why. Like my dog waits for me to start talking, then he wants to come in and get like next to me so I can start petting him. He doesn't do it beforehand; just waits for me to start talking. So I'm going to try to move my chair out of the way here because I'm sure he's going to want to get in. But with the Giants, right? Yeah, they always say, and that's a bunch of bull. That's a bunch of bull. No, we take the best player available. Yeah, that's a bunch of bull. You want to kind of hope that, and they always wind up saying, with the need and the best player available, they just matched. That's why we took this guy. Yeah, that's a bunch of bull. So what I want to do is kind of go through the like a lot of the top prospects, like say some of these guys, if they fell at the Giants at like say number 25, all right, if we go throughout the whole team here, okay, you some of them, yeah, absolutely, I can certainly see without question the Giants taking, the best player available. Other ones, no. I mean, we start with Daniel Jones at the quarterback position, okay. Now, if he played some kind of hardball or something like that, and they weren't able to come up with some kind of a contract for him, right? And they figured they had a franchise tag him, and it looks like he just wants too much money. And I can maybe see possibly if say some reason, some weird, like say Anthony Richardson, I'm just saying, fell to the Giants somehow, like all the way down to 25, okay. Or if he started falling into the teens, maybe the Giants might want to jump up or something like that. But, I'm just saying if somebody like him fell to the Giants, if Daniel Jones didn't sign the contract and they had him franchise tag and all, I can maybe see them maybe trying to do something with maybe a quarterback or something. But there's nobody at 25 that they're going to wind up taking. I would be shocked. Right, especially since Daniel Jones signed his 4-year deal. Okay. However, look for them because they got Tyrod Taylor for one more year, right? We got Daniel Jones. We just lost Davis Webb. We need somebody we're going to have to bring up through the pipeline, right? Or draft somebody, okay, to take the place of Tyrod Taylor. I mean, we can certainly bring Tyrod back for another season, have him be another backup quarterback without question. But look for the Giants somewhere in the draft, okay, to grab a quarterback. I mean, right. Somebody that, Dable and all things that they can maybe groom, maybe not to help, take the place of Daniel Jones, but, maybe be his backup in the future because it also wind up saving the Giants some money. So if they could let Tyrod go, all right, they would save themselves some money. But this is last year we have Tyrod. So, but I said, since they had signed Daniel Jones, I don't think there's any way in heck, even as I say, if Anthony Richardson was there at 25, he would be like he's raw. I mean, the freaking talent the guy has. I mean, you could see the speed. I mean, his arm. You know, the talent with his arm. You know, he's got to do some learning. And he could still be a bust, all right, as far as being a quarterback in the NFL. When you drop him back in the pocket and you got 9 guys hanging all over you, and you got to throw this ball into a window, 35 yards away. You know, I mean, that's not the easiest thing to do. When you're standing there in your underwear, right, in your shorts or whatever like that, you're dropping back and you're kind of like, lobbing it downfield, and things all look nice and pretty. When you're running a 40-yard dash in 4.4, whatever, that looks really nice. When you're doing a broad jump of 11 feet, it looks great. When you're doing a vertical, of like 41 inches or something, man, that looks great. That's all fine and fancy. Being in the NFL, in the pocket with guys all over you and stuff, you got to make that split-second decision, and it's got to be right on the, that's a whole new ball game, right? But if Anthony Richardson being like the best player available, all right, with the Giants, no, I bet they would. I think they definitely would have to without question, would have to pass on a quarterback in the first round. Okay, but look for them to maybe draft somebody later on. Same thing with running back. Okay, if was it Robinson? I think from Texas. Like if he was there in the first round, I don't think there's any way at all the Giants take him. Bijan Robinson, they got to pass. They just signed Saquon, right? Unless Saquon's like maybe holding out or something. I mean, obviously he does not want to play on the tag. I guess I don't blame him, but it's all guaranteed money. So, but I understand what he wants. He wants the long-term deal, the 3-year deal, or whatever it is. He wants a bunch more guaranteed money. I get that because you're only one play away from possibly having your career ended. So I get that. But I mean, if all the signals are pointing at Saquon's going to play and blah 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 and all that stuff, running back is the best player available there. Nope. So it's like if Robinson's there, and they pass on him, they're not taking the best player available, right? Same thing with tight end. Now, if we did, Shane goes by the value system, by the positional value system, right? So tight end. I'm going to go the same thing with center. Okay, if John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, I can't remember exactly what his name is. That's a song I used to sing when I was a kid. The guy from Roy Cyrus Torrance, if he's there, I don't know if they're going to want the guard, right, from Florida. I'm not exactly sure if they would want to take in him, right? That would be, because there's so many other needs the Giants have, right? I'm not sure if, that Shane is going to wind up putting such a nice positional value on a guard in the first round, especially since the guy drops to number 25. If the guy's like a Hall of Fame type guard and you're picking number 4 or something like that, and you can see a gold jacket on this guy or something, I could maybe, and you need a guard, I could see that, right? And number 25, the guy falls to the Giants at number 25 at a guard. The Giants have I'm going to go Dan Dierdorf on your ass here, a plethora of guards. We got a boatload of guards. Last year when Joe Shane came in, he had 5 healthy offensive linemen. I think he said in one of his press conferences, now they have 14 guys. They got a ton of guys, right? So basically, if they're going to draft a guard or /center or something like that, it's going to probably be maybe in the later rounds. I'd have a hard time, especially like a guard. Cyrus Torrance can be good, but is he that good? I don't know for them picking him in the first round, right? So if somebody like that fell to the Giants, right, I think they're going to have to pass. Now there's quite a few tackles here. Same thing with tackle. If the best player available is a tackle, they ain't taking him. Right? It's the same thing. They pass on him, and they'll take a cornerback, and they'll say the cornerback was the best player. Well, if they got Neal, all right, and they got Thomas, right? Between the two, their draft between the two, which you don't find this very often on a team. You add their 2 drafts together, they come up to 11. One was picked at number 4, the other was picked at number 7 by the same team. I don't know, Doesn't happen very often. Okay, you go to 2 tackles on the same team, and they were taken in the draft at combined total of 11, right? You're rolling the dice with both of them. All right, I mean, you're rolling with both of them. So if the best player available is a tackle, not happening. Now with the tight end position, okay, there's a good draft for tight ends, but now that we got Waller, I could see maybe the Giants maybe taking a tight end, maybe 3rd or 4th round somewhere, maybe, because there's a bunch of good tight ends out here. But once again, if like Mayer fell to the Giants, the guy from Notre Dame, I mean, they just got Waller. They're not getting, they're not taking Mayer, right? They're not taking and have Waller and then right Bellinger. That's not happening, right? Mayer could be the best player available, right? But they're not taking him. There's quite a few tight ends out there. I mean, I said Mayer is really, really good, but there's a bunch of guys that maybe have better. I mean, like Kincaid, okay, from Utah, Musgrave, right, from Oregon State. There's some good guys out there, right? But I mean, if one of them falls to the Giants, I mean, if they're the best player available, they're not taking them, right? Because they just addressed the tight end position with Waller. Now, we got Waller for 4 more years. Right. I don't know if we're going to actually wind up having him that long, but that's how long his contract is. But I said that, and then there's Bellinger. This is Bellinger's 2nd season. So we know we got Bellinger for at least 3 more years, and we got Waller, if we want, for 4 more years. Okay. But I said it's a nice, solid tight end class. Now, as I said, do we think Cager is somebody we're going to stick around for a while? Well, we'll have to see. I mean, we got Nick Vannett. I mean, right. So, I mean, don't be surprised if the Giants don't want to take a tight end, maybe in the 5th round or whatever, just maybe to add a little more depth, right? But once again, with the tight end, if the tight end Mayer falls to the Giants at number 28, they're going to pass on him. I wouldn't even be surprised or shocked, like, say, if the Giants just – it takes 2 to tangle, but if the Giants were to trade out of the 1st round, right, grab a little more draft capital, grab somebody's 2nd round pick and maybe another one in their 3rd round pick or something like whatever, get some more good draft picks, I'd be fine with that as well too. All right, so wide receiver. All right, now we're talking wide receiver. Now the Giants don't have. I mean, we got a lot of guys, okay, on like 1-year deals. Right, we got we brought Sterling Shepard back. All right, 1 year. That's if he can even wind up making the team. 1-year deals or minimum. We got Darius Slayton, brought him back for 2 years. All right, and we got Paris Campbell, right? Jeff Smith, right? Colin Johnson. I don't remember how many more years we have on him. It's not many. So we got a lot of guys. Okay, but there are a lot of short-term deals. Now the nice thing is if for some reason. Now, this would be one of those positions I believe that Shane would value, okay, although I don't know if the best player at 25, I mean, just what I'm hearing, there's a lot of good wide receivers, but I don't know if he would wind up taking it. I don't know if there's going to be a tight end, a wide receiver out there. At number 25, who would command, unless somehow like they fell in love like Quentin Johnston or in Smith and Jigba, from Ohio State. If they fell in love with one of those guys and somehow one of those guys fell to him at 25, I could see that. Although just from listening to like a lot of these draft experts and all, there's no number one like dog out there. Like people say, I've seen Zay Flowers being projected to go to the Giants in the 1st round by a bunch. I've seen Addison going there to the Giants as well. Now, are any of these guys like a true number 1 wide receiver? Not from what I'm hearing. So I don't know if the Giants are going to want to go out of their way and pick up like a Zay Flower, especially. I mean, some of them are like slot guys. How many slot guys do you need, right? So I mean, that one's kind of tough. I mean, as I said, unless they fell in love with one of these guys, like as I said, like Johnston, right? who winds up being, who's a nice tall target, okay, and can take the top off the defense, right? Maybe somebody like him, okay, but I think there's other positions out there that the Giants could draft, right? Could be go best player available. So now that winds up taking me, okay, to the defensive side. All right. So, the offense, I said on the offensive side, I mean, tight end, no, tackle, no, running back, no, quarterback, no. I can't see just the positional value, I think, that Shane places on these positions. I can't have a hard. I mean, if you were looking at a stone cold, like the center position, we need a center. Yes, we do. But I mean, it doesn't seem like any of these centers are graded that high that they'd be just an unbelievable pick at number 25. I think the positional value that Shane places on some of these positions, and have a hard time. I mean, a guard or a center. I mean, I don't know if there's a guard or a center that's worth the pick number 25. Just to be honest with you, right? So I said, possibly the wide receiver position, if there was I said like Johnston or Njigba, right? But I said most of the guys on offense, I said either we can certainly address the wide receiver position later in the draft without question. Second round, third round, right? I said the tight end position, no, because we just got Waller. We ain't taking no tackle, right? But we go to the defensive side, okay? There's a bunch, okay, of like cornerbacks. I heard that according to many draft experts, that I heard anywhere given like from 6 to 8 cornerbacks with first round grades in this draft. Okay. So a lot of what they talk about is that almost anybody, for the most part, that maybe were to fall to the Giants at number 25, if they got, say, the 4th best cornerback in the draft, be hard to pass up on them. Now, because if we look at what the Giants have, I mean, you got Rodarius Williams, Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes. I mean, some of these guys, I mean, they're there, but they're not drafted. They were not drafted. Flott was, okay, but they were not drafted by Shane or Dable. They're previous regimes. They came with the team. All right. Same thing with Adoree Jackson. This is his last season. Are we going to try to maybe extend him? I'm not hearing much about that. Because his cap hit this year is a little high. Can we maybe extend him? Do you want to keep him around? Well, then extend him, right? And then get that cap hit down, save you a little bit of money this year, right? Maybe you can go out and grab another free agent. But I'm not hearing anything about redoing Adoree Jackson's contract, which it kind of makes you kind of think like, why? I guess they want to let him go after the season. But then if they do, who the cornerback's going to be, right? I mean, Rodarius Williams was like a healthy scratch, I believe, like the last 4 or 5 games of the season. I mean, he was healthy, but they didn't put him in there. Aaron Robinson, guy's a walking injury. As I said, Darnay, what do they think about Darnay Holmes? Right? Fabian Moreau. I mean, he's a free agent. They haven't brought him back. That doesn't necessarily mean that they won't bring him back, but he's a free agent. He can sign with somebody else. So I mean, if we've signed Adoree Jackson. I mean, who's our cornerbacks going to be next year? Huh? So I can certainly see if a cornerback fell to the Giants, okay, at number 25, best player available, they're all over it. I can certainly see a cornerback because you can't go wrong with cornerbacks. I mean, you can't maybe have too many of them. If you got Wink Martindale's system, the way man-to-man, blitzing, all of that stuff, if you got some good cornerbacks, that's huge. It might not help so much against the run defense. I get that. But most part in this day and age, it's a passing league. All right. If you got 3 good cornerbacks, go. All right. If you got 4 good cornerbacks, go. You gonna let Adoree Jackson go, and right, you roll with the younger guys, the younger, cheaper guys. Absolutely, right. Safety position. Now the safety. All right. Now the thing is, I definitely, without question, would have said no. I mean, if they tried to bring Julian Love back, man was not interested. Now, according to PFF, Brian Branch from Alabama, okay, he's the only one, okay, who would like to be in the top 25. He might fall to the Giants, possibly at 25. Would they take positional value there? I don't know. They just brought in Dane Belton. We got Xavier McKinney, and we got Dane Belton. Do they want to take a shot on a good safety when they they just drafted one? They have a couple other guys in the pipeline, and they got Xavier McKinney. Ooh, I don't know. That would be kind of tough. I could certainly see him drafting a safety maybe later on, and then I'm thinking just positional value. I don't know if Shane values a safety that high. Okay. As I say, especially since we do have Dane Belton and we got Xavier McKinney, and we have a couple other guys too as well. So if Brian Branch were to fall to the Giants at number 25, I could see them maybe passing on him as well too, right? Because the Giants do have other needs. Now, as I said, so we got cornerback. Now the inside linebacker. Now, if we did not go in there, okay, and grab a Carrick, okay. Now there's a bunch of guys, okay. Yeah, a lot of people talking about Trenton Simpson, there's Jack Campbell, Henley from Washington State. There's some guys out there, okay. A lot of them don't have first round values on them. It's not a real unbelievable class of inside linebackers, especially in the first round. I heard people maybe talking about Simpson maybe going in the first round, but we just spent $40 million on a Carrick, okay? We have Darian Beavers going to be coming back from injury from last year. Hopefully he's okay. We just drafted Micah McFadden as well, too, right? So we have a few guys, okay? As I said, we just spent $40 million on a Carrick. Are they going to want to go out in the first round and say Simpson was there, okay? Draft another and get another inside linebacker when you still have other holes to fill. I think they're going to have to pass on that. If they didn't get a Carrick, all right, and they just fell in love, like say, for whatever reason, with Simpson, okay, I can maybe see them going for it. But I said we got Beavers. Hopefully, he's going to make an impact this season, and we just spent money on our Carrick. I think the Giants are going to have to pass on inside linebacker, okay, which brings you now to our final 2 positions. The defensive line, the interior defensive line. Okay. Now, one of these here, okay, is, some positions you can't have too many guys in, okay? Defensive line and edge rushers. Can't have too many of them. I mean, if you can, just like what the freaking Eagles did last year, you can start bringing guys in off the bench, just to, right? Take the place of some of the starters. What do you got? Griffin coming to the Giants from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I haven't heard anything. They could use him. They certainly could use him. I wouldn't doubt that. But I have to keep my eye out on that. I know they got Richardson coming in Monday. The interior defensive lineman. So if he winds up coming in, I want seeing him to help stuff up the middle and all. But as far as with Griffin, I have to keep my eye out on that. I haven't heard anything yet, as far as I know. But I mean, with the interior defensive line, okay, this is one of those. If one of the positions there, because they were just there at the they had some coaches there at the Michigan Pro Day, like with Smith, the interior defensive lineman with Smith. There's a couple other guys. Cansey from Pittsburgh. Heard he was supposed to be pretty good. Like if somebody like him were to fall to the Giants, okay, at number 25, that's something they're going to have to start thinking long and hard about, right? Because Leonard Williams is not going to be here forever, okay? You need somebody to help, rotate in there. And if you can rotate in there, somebody like you can't see it because Jalen Carter is not reaching the Giants. That ain't happening. But if you can maybe rotate Cansey in there, that might be something that the Giants might have to think long and hard of. If the best player available is an interior defensive lineman, I think the Giants might pull the trigger on that without question, especially if the person can help with the pass rush and with the run defense. I think that would be a win-win. That would be huge. I think the Giants would have to think long and hard. If the best player available is interior defensive lineman, I think they might pull the trigger on that. Which leads us to our next and final one, okay, which would be the edge rushers. Now, it's the same thing here. You can't have too many edge rushers. All right, there's a bunch. There's quite a few guys here. Now, it's not a phenomenal, unbelievable class, but there are some guys that have could go in the first round. I'm just looking from PFF here. They got Nolan Smith from Georgia, Vaness from Iowa. Now, I don't know if Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech would reach the Giants at number 25. That I don't know. Will Anderson Jr., he ain't reaching the Giants at 25. I got Miles Murphy here from Clemson, okay. Will McDonald from Iowa State. Zuma from Kansas State. Right, so and there's Ojulari, right? I think we know who that guy's brother is, right? B.J. Ojulari. I think we know who his brother is, Azeez, right? Some of these guys do have first round grades. Now, once again, if you can't have too many pass rushers, and especially with the injury history that Azeez has had, especially last season, the guy couldn't stay on the field. He was on the field for like 250 snaps, right? You can't have too many pass rushers. So if the best player available at number 25 for the Giants is an edge rusher, I don't think they think twice about it, right? I think they run to the podium and they get themselves another. You can't have too many edge rushers. Absolutely not. Especially if I said if Kayvon's injured or he needs a breather, Azeez is injured and he needs a breather, and you can bring another first rounder in and you're not losing anything really off the edge, I think they run to the podium. Absolutely. So there are a few positions here, okay, that if it's best player available, right, but it's going to be in a couple positions, all right. If the best player available is a tackle, right, okay, well, we're going to pass on you. Best player available is a running back, all right, we'll see you. Best player available is a tight end at first round. We'll see you. So. Don't fall for that. Well, he's going to take the best player. No, you're not. No. You're going to take the best player available at positions that you value or that you need. I mean, I said like edge rusher or interior, the front wall of the defense. Can't pass on that, right? Cornerbacks, huge. Okay, especially after this season. Who the Giants' cornerbacks going to be, right? Wide receiver. Is only because I don't know if there's a wide receiver, maybe at 25, the Giants could pick that would make that much of a huge difference for the team. At 25, I think they can get almost some good value, maybe in round 2 or 3 at a wide receiver position. So most of the positions that if the best player available is a guard or center, I'd have a hard time seeing him, especially if Shane's his positional value system. Okay. But there are a few positions that definitely, without question, if the best player available is like a cornerback, edge rusher, interior defensive lineman or something, I can see him running to the podium. Absolutely. Now, I also saw that there was this article here that I saw. Let's see, the Giants, 3, cornerbacks that the Giants could possibly look at in free agency still. Now, if they can maybe get a little bit more money because they got Trey Flowers here, okay, who let's see, was with the Bengals. Okay. They get his market value, okay, according to Spot Track, is $11.4 million a season, which is very, obviously for a cornerback, okay, is very, very reasonable, okay. Especially you figure some of the upper echelon guys, get like 20 million. All right. Now he's 29 years old. Looks like he'll be 30 years old when the season starts. Now the thing is, if you were to bring Trey Flowers in, okay, you'd have a good solid cornerback, okay. But I don't know if you'd want to sign him to a long-term contract, right? He could be a torch holder. Bringing him in for a year or two, right? While you can have him hold the torch, while you can get some younger cornerbacks in. Hopefully draft him. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, tall guy, right? Said that he'll fit well into Martindale's press man defense. And I see this from Empire Sports Media. They have a video out, an article out. Flowers moved around a lot on the Bengals defense, playing the majority of his snaps in the slot. A big change from spending 314 of his 391 defensive snaps out wide in 2021. So he's played out wide and he plays in the slot. So you're going to get a really good, tall cornerback, okay, that he could play either outside or in the slot. And he would fit well, okay, in Martindale's defense. Another one they're talking about, Shaquille Griffin, okay, right, who got Anthony Barker, okay. He's got Shaquan Griffin, but I got Shaquille Griffin, all right, from the Jaguars. Now, he was released by the Jaguars this offseason, saving the team $13 million in cap space. Now, as a free agent, Griffin could be a good fit for the Giants. Griffin dealt with injuries in 2022. Okay, he only appeared in 5 games, right? He did add 29 tackles and 3 tackles for loss. However, if Griffin can maintain his health in 2023, he could be a solid option opposite of Adoree Jackson, right? So these guys you're bringing in, okay, don't have to cover the number 1 wide receiver. They'd be, right? So they can go after the number 2. So, they don't have to be a lockdown corner on like ABCD Lamb, or AJ Brown, Griffin could be a low-cost free agent option to serve as a starter on the boundary for the Giants. He's 6 foot tall, about 200 pounds. Okay. Griffin provides the physicality necessary to succeed in Martindale's press-heavy defense, which would be huge, absolutely huge. All right. Let's see here. He's 27. He'll be looks like he'll be 28 when the season starts, but so he's still not that old, right? He's under 30, right? PFF has him at 2 years, $7.5 million a year. Now you look, if you were willing to spend, given Julian Love somehow come up with $7 or $8 million a year, you can certainly bring Shaquille Griffin in, and that would be a nice upgrade compared to what you do have there right now. Right, he's still young. You can have him for a couple years. He can be a torch holder for you, right? While maybe you draft another cornerback or 2 to bring in there for you. So he would be a good option for the Giants, Shaquille Griffin. As far as I know, as I was trying to answer the question, I don't know if they have talking to him at all or anything, but he would be a good option for the Giants. Now the other one is Marcus Peters here. Okay, now he obviously has the connection. All right. Thing is with him, he's 30. All right. PFF has him projected at maybe like 2 years, $7 million. Okay. But Peters returned. He suffered a torn ACL in 2021. Okay. And he did miss the final few games of the season, I believe. He had a calf strain in December that sidelined him for the final 3 games of his regular season. So he missed some time last year, right? With the injuries, and they obviously got injured in 2021 as well, too, right? So, but he could be. I'm saying Marcus Peters makes perfect sense for the Giants because of his connection with Wink Martindale. Peters and Martindale were together in Baltimore as the veteran corner played for the Ravens, while Martindale was their defensive coordinator in 2019 and 2020. Peters is 30 now, okay? And he's getting up there in age, and his play is starting to decline. However, he's still a capable outside corner when healthy. So, so he could be the number 2 corner, right? You sign him for a year or 2, okay? He can be a torch holder for you, but he would certainly be, I believe it would be an upgrade of what you have right there right now. I mean, putting him opposite of Adoree Jackson, I think you'd have yourself a nice 2 good cornerbacks. I'm not saying they'd have the best tandem in the league, but they would be a nice twosome, right? He played in 13 games last year for the Ravens after missing the entire 21 season, okay, with the injury. This season, Peters past season racked up 47 combined tackles, 6 passes defense, and 1 interception. All right. Peters has familiarity with the Giants' defensive scheme and would fill a huge hole in Big Blue's defense if he could be had for the right price. Marcus Peters makes too much sense for the Giants. As I said, but he would be like a torch holder, not somebody you want to bring in and sign him to a 4 or 5 year deal or anything like that. But he's certainly worth, without question, bringing him in for a couple years, without question, right? As I said, because after this season's up, you have no idea what are they doing with Adoree Jackson, or Darius Williams, Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes. Are these guys going to be around much longer? You don't know. So the Giants definitely need, some new faces in the cornerback position, without question. And there are a few, okay. There are a few options out there, okay, right? Who the Giants can still have who would be affordable, especially if you figure if the Giants somehow were going to wind up paying Julian Love more than what he got paid. The Seahawks gave him $6 million a year. From what I was hearing and reading, the Giants offered him more than that, meaning so we're talking at least maybe $7 million a year, right? So if they could offer Julian Love $7 million a year, they can offer one of these cornerbacks about $7 million a year, okay, and get another cornerback in here, right? They could certainly use maybe a safety too as well, but look for that maybe in the draft, okay? But without question, a cornerback, and don't be surprised if they don't take a cornerback in round 1 of the NFL draft, right? Well, guys, it's been 42 minutes. Woo! Shoot my freaking mouth off. Anthony Barker, thank you for your question. I greatly appreciate it. Griffin from the Jaguars, he would be a good option. Affordable, bring him in, put him across from Adoree Jackson. We'd have nice 2 cornerbacks. So he's somebody I don't, as far as I know, they're not talking to him at all or anything like that. But somebody to keep on your radar because he hasn't been signed yet. But it's been 42 minutes. Anybody spent any time watching me, or if anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, thank you once again. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. It means so much to me. It really does. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.